Hey, well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this, the last of the current series, at least, of Compassion Check-In. And I'm really pleased to be here. It's sad and happy at the same time, and our theme is love, peace, hope, and joy. How appropriate for this as we head into December. And I'm just going to get everyone just to say a hello and just a wave. Just say your name. Top of my picture is Dr. Martin. Do you want to just wave and say hi?
Hello there, Dr. Martin in London here.
Excellent. And next is Frank Monroe. Frank.
Hi everyone, I'm Frank Monroe.
Excellent. And Iris, I can see you there with that wonderful picture of you swimming in the background.
Hello, here's Iris and lots of pets in the background.
Oh, wonderful. We watch out for their chirping away and parking away. Danny, I'm ready to do carpool karaoke with a celebrity, I can see.
Hiya, I'm Danny. I'm in the van again.
Welcome. And Kristen, welcome for the first time. A very warm welcome to Compassion Check-In.
Yeah, because I came on the TCA, the confidence chats, and I couldn't go on the compassion one, which was attached to that. And then you mentioned this date, so I thought, you know what? I love this man. I want to go on his thing. So.
Oh, well, it's lovely to have a fellow coach, and great to see you from the Coaching Academy. And last but by no means least at the moment, the wonderful Iris. Iris, hello, in a different room today.
Yes, well, you see, my cat went out today for the first time, and I want the cat to come back. I thought that he would be just in the garden, but no, he went elsewhere. So I'm Iris. Welcome, Christy. Yeah, welcome to the club. We love Rasheed.
Absolutely. We've got somebody else who's just about to join us for the first time. So we're going to welcome them too, because it's been advertised. Hi there, Jay. You're very welcome. Welcome.
Sorry.
You're very welcome. We've just started to record and we're live. We've literally just started. So very warm welcome if you're joining us for the first time. Lovely to see you or to hear you, and good to see you. Well, good to hear you at least. Welcome. And today's topic, everybody, is love, peace, hope, and joy. And I kind of thought I'd throw this topic into the mix here because, you know, we're heading toward the end of this year, and the end of the year and the festive holidays, whatever they mean, and there are a number, mean different things to people. For some people, it's a religious time. For some people, it's a family time. It's a spiritual time, a humanist time, or just a break time, or if they're lucky, a time-out time. It means lots of different things to lots of people. But this feeling of love, peace, hope, and joy, especially when people are connecting together and with family and friends and so on, is really important. And I also thought it was kind of apt in what's been, for many people, a challenging year. So it's great, you've got a lovely mixture of things to kind of kick off with here. Anyone want to kind of kick us off here? Well, actually, I think the one person who we should give the permission to is Frank, because you've attended more than anybody else of these Compassion Check-ins. So I'm going to hand over to you. Anything you wanted to say about this? And anybody, feel free to put your hand up if you want to come in next. Frank, over to you.
Right, first I want to start off by saying really glad to be here with everybody, and the fact that I lost my 100% record for a rubbish meeting that I needn't have attended, but by the by. But what I do want to say is, for me, I think this perfectly encapsulates what Compassion Check-in's been all about for me, because I think for me in particular, and I guess most of my friends on this group, it really helped getting through the last 8 months, made that survivable, bearable. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the time it was the highlight of my week. It was something that I looked forward to. I looked forward to talking to friends who weren't in the same space as myself, but I could come and have a conversation with you guys. We could talk about how we're feeling, and also address a lot of the mental issues that we were under subliminally, and with the different topics that we explored. And I certainly learned a lot more about myself. Not sure whether I like myself as much as I did at the beginning, but I certainly have learned, a lot more about myself and have a better understanding. And I can say hand on heart, that would not have been the case without this group. And to have got that level of understanding, it would have probably bankrupted me financially. So it's all good.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Frank. And I think we like you even more from these sessions. I mean, we've become huge fans of yours. And I think that you put something really powerful here, because when we did start these, it was especially difficult around that time of the first lockdown. We were really struggling a lot. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else want to jump in there at all? Oh, Danny, please.
I'm going to jump off the back of what Frank is saying and just echo everything he said, because it was exactly the same for me as well this year. And just being welcomed and with the warm heart that everybody here has. And yeah, I can't say it better than Frank has. So I'm just going to echo exactly everything he said is the same from my perspective and myself as well. So thank you all for having this year together on those Wednesdays. It's one that I would definitely never miss if I can help it. I always want to make 12 o'clock on a Wednesday a thing for me in my life, because it's so important, even after these groups, to just have those moments at the middle of the week and middle of the day, where I can just sit and be, and if think about all the things that we've talked about and discussed. It's been oh, there's a cat, Iris. She's finally come back. And I'm going to pass over to Iris and the cat, because I want to hear what the cat has to say.
Iris,
so much.
This is the young one, is the senior one that left the room. This one is just nervous because the other one went, which is a bit like me, Actually, on the back of what you said and Frank said, actually for me the Wednesday were very good. I do need people. I know that some people need pets, just pets, but I need humans. And this group for me was that human connection. And my husband just, sometimes he jokes that I make friendship wherever I go. And I actually was thinking about that. I say, I always got the joy of, of feeling, oh, I like someone, they are my friend. Doesn't matter if they are not my friend. I like feeling that people are my friend. And in this group, actually, I just think, well, 2020 has been a very positive year, because I've met people that perhaps I wouldn't have met otherwise, and it was in the compassion group. I mean, I've met other people that I worked with, but I don't think that they will go beyond the connection of work.
I think that's such a powerful point that you make there. Is I think that whilst this year has been a really tough one, it's been a tumultuous one. The shifts, and particularly lots of things us having to connect and so on online, particularly during lockdown, if we're lucky enough to have that, has meant that so many of us have met new people from all around the world. And look at this connection of people. Okay, most of us, I think, currently are here in the UK, but we hail from pretty much every continent, and that's really just really magical, and it's really special. Now, quick bonus point question, which Jay, Christine, or Kojo and Mia will be allowed to answer this. And we'll get a bonus point. Why do you think compassion check-in was on Wednesdays at noon? Why do you think I put them at Wednesdays at 12 noon? Bonus point. Feel free to unmute whoever. Bonus point for whoever can get.
It's middle of the week to anchor the week.
Oh, hello, Mia Morris OBE. That's why you're Mia Morris OBE. Mia, over to you. I mean, our topics today are love, peace, hope, and joy. And Iris G just kind of touched on that, think about joy. And I love the point that Iris was making about the importance of people and connections with people, and with new people, and that can bring joy. Because I think that for many people, wouldn't necessarily, when the history's written of 2020, joy may not be the first word that people would necessarily pick or necessarily hope. But Mia, any thoughts on any of these topics, or anything you're wanting to say at all as we connect together for the last of these in the current series, at least?
Just how much this has been the highlight of my week, actually. I have supervision with my team on a Wednesday before this, and then I have this, and it's a nice way of anchoring me so that I can get through the rest of the week, because my job is quite taxing.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm very touched by that, because I had no idea. I knew it was important to put it on, but I didn't, when sometimes you just put things on because you think they're important, but you don't really have an idea of how important that is. Who do you want to pass the baton to, Mia?
Who hasn't spoken?
Well, we've got some new guests for the first time. We've got Dr. Martin hasn't spoken, and Iris Kay hasn't spoken, but we've also got Jane and Kristen here for the first time.
Well, let's hear from Christian.
Kristen, over to you.
Well, I do feel like I missed out on a very, very special Wednesday, and I wish I had known about this before. I just, because I attended something else that Rasheed did, which I was absolutely just I find mind-blowing, and I threw myself on and booked this and thought, oh yes, I want to hear about the compassion. Just by listening to the ones who have spoken already, for the feeling of the heart in it, and how important it has been through this lockdown to meet up with like-minded, or to share just how we feel. I mean, I'm on that as well. I've just been in other groups, and I wish I had been in this one on Wednesdays as well. But no, I just feel this is really warmth in my heart to just be allowed to be here today. I can't really say anything else, and I just want to see how it's been laid out. But definitely the feeling is it.
Well, it's so powerful, because I think the fact that this was the last, and you felt enough of that warmth to feel to log on today, and here you are as though you've just been a regular, is really, really powerful. Dr. Martin.
Yes, hello everyone. I think one of the things that I found very distinctive about this group is that during lockdown and during 2020, I think many of us can spend a great deal of time in our head, in our minds, in our imaginations. And that imprisonment in the mind, in terms of everything that's going on around us globally and locally, can make you feel as though I need to share my thoughts with someone. I need to hear what someone thinks in regard to what I'm thinking. And in the compassion check-in, what I've always liked so much is that I'm hearing voices from all over the world, because sometimes the participants have been in Europe, in South Africa, in Australia, in Israel. They've been from all around the world. And there's something very reassuring when you know that your sense of isolation or your sense of alienation is not solely happening in your head and in your house. You know, when you hear others who are desperately trying to reach out, and then they do, and it's like, just give me 5 minutes so that I can just get this off of my shoulders, get this out of my head, you know, oh, I'm hurting. And in Jewish culture, you know, there's a lot to be said about rocking and moaning. You know, you want to fetch. So, you know, you just need to, I'm unloading myself of everything that's weighing down on me. And when I do that, I can free myself up to speak. And I think everyone at some point in this group have been able to do that without necessarily being onerous, you know, without burdening someone with something that they can't manage. It's just, I'm going to clear my head so that I can fill my mind. Actually, I like the sound of that.
Well, it's
I'm going to clear my head so I can fill my mind.
Well,
for those of you that know me, do not know me, he says, I write. I write, even though it's not ching, even though it's not like that anymore, I write on a keyboard. And very often what I've heard from people in the group has kept me focused and kept me energized, and I've spoken and I felt that I've been heard, and I know that everyone that's spoken here has been heard, and you don't always find that in Zoom groups. And I go to many of them during the course of a week.
Thank you so much for that. I think it's very powerful, and I think one of the things that struck me when you were saying that is that many of us here work individually or quite isolated, or the way that we've had to work during this year means that we can be with ourselves and our own thoughts a lot of the time. Ironically, the session, I don't know, Kristen, if you're at tonight's last of the Coaching Academy sessions that I'm running, but it's around mindfulness and compassion. And that thing that you're saying, Dr. Martin, about being in our heads a lot of the time is true. So sometimes we're in our heads and our minds need to quieten, or sometimes it's just that we're going around in our own mind and we need that human connection. Just one thing just to say there, just before we bring in those people who haven't shared so far, I've just put in the link into the link box that whilst I'm not running any more compassion check-ins for a while, there's no Wednesdays free, there's a couple of other free events that I'm running, and some of them may appeal to some of you. I'm running an event called Through the British Library, to whom I'm the life and business coach, and it's part of their Reset Restart program for people who are starting and running their business. And Danny was at the very first one. And I'm running a fortnightly coffee hour, which is an opportunity for people who are their own boss to pause, have a coffee, and so on. So it'll have a slightly different flavor to compassion checking. But check my website. I've only got the dates. There's one today and there's one, I think, next week. But I'm going to soon put up the dates from January to March. I'm also running, and Danny, I think, Danny wins bonus points for this, was at the very first one, an event for the creatives, and Martin was at the very first one, Dr. Martin, which is an event called Creatives Talk Space, which I'm running with a handful of other creative coaches, and we put it on because, of course, so many creatives right now, because of COVID, are especially struggling. I mentioned that, and there's other events, so do keep your eye on my website. There will be other free events, other opportunities to connect as well. Who haven't we heard from has been quite so far? Iris Kane, you're one of the first people to log on. I'm going to turn to you. Anything you wanted to share, or anything you wanted to share also about love, peace, hope, and joy? And there's been a lot of it shared already here.
Yeah, I can only say for me, it was actually always a highlight of the week when we had the check-in, because I thought it was lovely to have some like-minded people. And the coincidence was that it about started at the time when I left my job. You know, and so it could have been quite an isolating time. But then, you know, I would also say what Iris was saying earlier on. I actually found the same, that in a funny sort of way, it wasn't the best years for a lot of people, but there were also a lot of good things. And I found that if I just look at the world has become smaller, and I can certainly say here around me, the community has become stronger, and there are many more connections. So by not being able to venture far out, I met so many people in my neighborhood that I now know a little bit and had lovely chats. So in that respect, and I think also through Facebook groups, people were able to reconnect. You know, I lost my swim pulse because we couldn't meet and go swimming anymore. You know, we couldn't, you know, I'm in a Sighthound group and we couldn't walk together anymore, but actually somehow we all managed to stay connected. You know, and I think that is a huge value. And actually what I find also, and I think a lot of people will have seen that people have found new opportunities. It also has unleashed a lot of creativity in people. And although a lot of people have lost their income opportunities and businesses, etc., but I think a lot of people also grasp the opportunities and were incredibly creative and positive to make the most of the situation. So we have a choice, you know, in how far we want to have love, peace, and joy in our lives. Sometimes depends on which side of the coin we choose to look at.
That's very, very powerful. And I love the point there, a number of points, but that point about how, whilst this is being challenging, many people have also, well, they're connected to people that I knew before, but new connections. Can I just get a quick show of hands before I bring in Kojo and Jay? Who's made new connections that you probably wouldn't have made? Aha, I can see hands straight up. Hands up straight up. It's interesting. Most people, it seems. Wow. Kojo, I'm going to bring you in here at this point. So I could see you writing notes away, the radio man. I could see you writing notes away there. With the radio voice.
Can I speak? Am I on tune? Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so very much. I'm really, really, really grateful. I want to sort of slide back to what you mentioned as to what have one benefited or learned. When you've invited me several times, and I've always had a reason not to, you know, I've always had something running into something and I've not been able to do it. But I come on and I meet different people and different ideas, and different energies, and it's made me also recognize how I operate, because I operate well, or I operate much more well when I am in an environment where I'm having people flowing into my river. And that's what it's done for me. You know, I come in here, I've come into the other place, and I'm just learning and observing. And I tend to want to sit back and just write, because I tend to want to go back and rechew on stuff and think through stuff. And I would want to say thank you. I've really, really enjoyed myself. But I want to say this: I found this place as a place where I clear my head and I fill my mind. I come in here and I clear my head and I fill my mind. So I have to borrow from Dr. Martin, because you know, when people are talking, I'm thinking, okay, I can connect with this. Okay, I can connect with this. So I sit back and I drink from this fountain, and I go away so filled and fulfilled. So I want to thank you. And I've met different people. I've met several people, and I'm looking to meet much more different people. So if you haven't connected, please, let's connect after this, and let's still connect and have some conversation. Thank you.
Do feel free to share here, because also, Coach, there might be some great guests on for your radio station. Iris, well, both of the Irises, but Iris, both of our Irises have had fascinating stories, for example. And I remember the first time meeting Iris G, and we chatted at one of my events at the British Library. This is when and I was just, you said a little bit about your life, and straight away, I was just fascinated by your story and your journey. So I really do hope that there'll be all sorts of, I mean, please do share details with each other and connect, and, you know, on things like LinkedIn and wherever else. And there will be some of these future events. And I will be keeping an eye on things like to put on maybe compassion check-in specials at certain points and things like that. Anyone, who hasn't we heard from for a while? Which word, let's start with the word game. Which of these words here? Oh, no, we're gonna have a bit of fun. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna have 2 minutes with a random person, but from this group. And you're gonna pick one of the words. You're only gonna have a minute each. You're gonna pick one of the words from today: love, peace, hope, and joy, and just say why it is the word that you pick. It's only gonna be 1 minute each. And then we're going to come back, and then we're going to do a little bit of a swapping again, okay? So it's going to be, you can have one of those words. Let's see how this looks. Let's see, oh, that's looking good. So when you're ready, my friends, click into your rooms. So Coach, if you're able to click, I wonder if you're able to click through, Coach. Oh, there you go. So they're just going into their rooms, and I've just asked them to pick which word really resonates with the most of this love, I think peace, hope, and joy. Be really just interesting to share. Tell them feeling kind. Feeling kind. I'm going to give you an extra minute. I'm going to give them an extra minute. So at home here, I want you to think about, you know, which of these words speaks most to you: love, peace, hope, and joy. I think they're all important. I think for me right now, the one that we can often forget about is that word joy. And I love that connection with the word enjoy. And if you're watching this and if you're interested in today's topic, I've just recorded a very special December Catch the Coach and Soul Trader special around similar topics here about these. So you might want to kind of tune into that. Yeah, which of these words speaks most to you? I think the thing about joy, sometimes we can lose that joy. I think particularly as adults, we can get caught up, I've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, but the joy for what we do, the joy for just each moment, the joie de vivre, the joy in every single moment. And again, it's interesting, that French term, that joie de vivre, that joy for life itself. Get ready for 1 min countdown will soon appear. So they're going to have just 1 minute to come back, and then I'm going to send them off to their rooms again and meet somebody else. So they're going to be coming back soon. And I think the word that I'm going to offer to them is the word love. You know, I'm going to bring them back and bring in this word love. Or it might be the word hope. Let's bring them back in just a few minutes. So I'm going to bring them back and I'm going to give them a moment to think about each of these words. And yeah, it's going to be quite good fun. Actually, can bring them back again. So which of these words chime with you? So I'm going to get you to begin to think about play this game too. Aha, here everyone comes back. Excellent. How was that? Was that good? We're now going to play Pass the Parcel, right? Because it's you know, it's the last one of the year, so we're going to play the Pass the Parcel. So we're going to have some fun with each of these words. You're now going to go into another breakout room. This time, whatever your word was, the word this time is love. What's one thing that you love about yourself? It's going to be just 1 minute. It's going to be 1 minute each. So when you see the countdown, 59 seconds, it's person two's turn to share what they love, okay? So you can be in there for just 1 minute.
I just had 1 second.
Yeah, Kristen, please. So how was that, by the way? Just whilst we're waiting for Kristen, how was that? Was it interesting?
Mm.
Mia, anything that you're wanting to say about that just before we before Kristen comes back, which will make our numbers nice and even?
Yeah, it was. We went for the identical same word.
Ah, who were you in with?
I was in with Dr. Martin.
Aha! Wow. Okay. Fantastic. So, and what was that? What was the word?
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Wow. So, okay, everyone, get ready for the Pass the Parcel game. Okay. Oh no, we've lost somebody. Oh yeah, I haven't opened the rooms yet. Now, so here's what's going to happen. We are soon. This time, you're going to go into rooms with somebody. Somebody sort of the same as last time. How about that? I'm going to have to. Let's close all the rooms for a moment. And what I'm going to do is recreate rooms. And let's recreate. Whoops. Don't go into your rooms. Let me. I think some people have gone off into their rooms. Let's get them back. I'm going to say back to them to come back. Some people I think have gone off to the breakout rooms. So here's what we're going to do this time. We're going to have a minute with each of these words. And so the first word that we're going to have a minute with is the word love. And what you're going to do is this time you're going to share one thing that you love about yourself. That's going to be the rule. So you've got to find one thing that you really love about yourself. And very often it's interesting with love, isn't it? We think about the word love a lot, but we don't necessarily think about this thing about self-love. So you're going to have just 1 minute to share what you love. Now, there are two people who've already gone off into their breakout room. So, the two, I think it's the two irises are having probably a fantastic chat. Probably meant to be, isn't it? How likely would it be that they're both irises rather than irises? So let's welcome back to the two irises. You went off into a group again and I realized that I hadn't really let everyone go. But here's the thing, but I'm so glad because you're namesakes. So it's good that you did that. Okay, so here's what
possibly could. I had no one to talk to, no one to listen.
Exactly. Billy no mates. I was Billy no mates.
Could we do that again so that we could actually do it?
We are. So here's what's going to happen. This time you're going to have the word love. This time you're going to share what's one thing that you love about yourself. It's going to be literally 1 minute each. So when you see the countdown clock, you have got to, it's the person two's turn, okay? So person one has got to wrap up once you see that countdown clock. So off you go into your new rooms with your new best friends. So they've gone off to think about what's one thing that they love about themselves. which is really, really, really important. And I want to ask you that question. What's one thing that you really love about yourself? And I do all sorts of workshops and talks and so on, as you know, and I often ask people to kind of share, you know, what are their strengths, what are their qualities, and many people really, really struggle. And I say to them, you know, with friends and family, you know, I'll get them to try a certain number of words, and I say, well, friends and family usually be able to come up with that number, with more, with, you know, with a set number of words. And they say, yeah, sure, of course they would, but people often struggle themselves. So I think this thing about really owning it, this is something I really love about myself, can be quite revelatory. Okay, person two, your turn at the countdown clock will start. So let's do person two's turn. So yeah, and I'm just trying to think, what do I love? I think one thing I think that one thing I think I love is that I love the fact that I listen to my intuition. I trust it. I think that I really love that, the fact that I trust it, and I trust it, and I allow myself to, when I just feel, okay, let's just do this, let's just spontaneously do this, because I can be quite a structured person. So I love the times when serendipity or being a little bit more fluid or what have you comes to mind. So I really like that. Okay, so let's see. They should be coming back in about 19 seconds. So the next word that they're going to think about, and I'm going to invite you to think about, is peace. What is it that you need to come to peace with, or is there anything that you have come to peace with? You know, and I'm going to get them to share as much as they're comfortable with. Welcome back. Frank wins the prize for being first back. So you're all having fun. I can see everyone smile with some nice smiles, hoping that was fun. Are you all ready? Because you're about to start to play with word number two. Word number two here is peace. And it's interesting that, for example, we know Mia and Dr. Martin were talking about the word peace before. This time I'm going to invite you to share what's one thing that you're wanting to come to peace with, or perhaps that you have come to peace with. Only share as much as you're comfortable with. So what's one thing that you either have come to peace with recently or that you're wanting to come to peace with? If you need to speak about in the abstract, do only share as much as you're comfortable with. And the same rules apply. And you're going to be in with a new friend. Your room's open right now. And there they go into their new rooms. Let's see. Okay. Person one. So yeah, peace. What are the things that you need to come to peace with? And this is really interesting. You know, sometimes it can be really simple things. It might be, you know what, I just need to come to peace with that me and this person see things really differently. That can be very, very powerful. It can be very, very, very potent. You know, what are the things that you need to come to peace with, or that you have come to peace with? I think that for me, one of the things about coming to peace with is that, or the realization, I don't know if it was a peace, but how, you know, learning and growing in certain things or working on certain things is an ongoing one. So that so that things don't have to be perfect, or that things, you know, you can constantly be working on because it's an ongoing thing. Your men will start any second. So anything that you, as a listener to this, what is it that you should be coming to peace with? So, yeah, anything that you need to be coming to peace with. I think for me, I was saying that peace of mind comes with the moment when we come to peace with the contents of our mind. Just accepting, here I am. And that's what a lot of the purpose of Compassion Check-In was all about. You know, was really all about that, you know, just accepting life, accepting the flow of life. When they come back here, let's do a halfway quick check-in. I'm just going to get them to just share And it's going to be in a sentence what their main learning has been from it. Let's see, they're coming back any minute now. Be lovely to hear a word from them. But yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to get them to do one last round. Okay. Oh, lovely smiles there. I can see Iris K. Lovely smiles all around. Okay, so we're going to do the last round of this in our penultimate word. The penultimate word here is hope. What are your hopes? What's your hope moving forward? You're going to have to be nice and concise. Your hope for moving forward, your personal hope or your professional hope. Let's give you a completely new room. Let's see if, let's hope it will be completely different groups. Over to you, my friends. Oh, two of you, it's the same groups. So some people it's the same, some people it's different. Let's do that. So yeah, they're talking about what their hopes are. I mean, I want to ask you that, given the year that's been, what are your hopes? Yeah, what's your hopes? And actually, I think for me, I think that my had 15 seconds. So, so, you know, the thing is that I think for me with hope, I think there's something about, I think this year there is, whilst it's been very, very, very tough, I think there is a lot of hope. I mean, I hope, and one of the things I hope is that people don't rush back to going to about things how they were before. I hope organisations use it as an opportunity to think, what can we do differently? What can we improve? What can we do? Sometimes the narrative, you know, is that we can't do that. So I really hope people use this as a really use this as an opportunity to think, okay, you know what, I'm gonna shift things. I'm gonna change things around. I'm really gonna do things differently. I really hope people think differently about how they work, about how they treat each other, about what they can get involved in, what they can do, and maybe in terms of what their careers are and so on. It'd be really, really, really interesting if that happens. Because it would be magical if that were to happen. So that they're past the parcel game is about to end in about 38 seconds. So what are your hopes? What are your hopes for yourself? You know, I mean, I certainly hope I can work far more flexibly moving forward. I mean, that's one that so many people will share. But I think I've realized a lot more. I want to do a lot more remote work. I want to do probably a lot less in-person work, but I want the in-person work to be really, really important. And yeah, that's one of my hopes, and in fact, my intention. To hear they all come back. Let's bring them all back. And then we'll just do one last round. Welcome back, my friends. Now, is there anybody you've not yet met one-to-one? Can somebody who's good at mathematics, and who have you not met? Who's really good at maths here? I'm going to try and...
I've not met Kojo or Iris.
Not met... Hang on. Can you just take a look at, I'm going to open the rooms, don't click on them, but oh no, you're not going to know. So I've got here Iris and Kristen. Have you met already?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Okay, so, so I'm just going to ask each of these people individually. Iris and Kristen, have you met each other?
Which Iris are you talking about?
Oh, Iris K. Iris K, have you met Kristen?
Yeah.
You have met?
Yeah.
Who haven't you met, Iris K?
Mia and Danny.
I'm going to change Nia. I'm going to move Nia to a breakout room 1. So I've got at the moment Mia and Kristen. Is that right? You haven't met?
We have.
Oh, I've messed that one up. Ha! Let me just change this. Okay, I'm going to move you to, I know, room 1. So Kristen, who have you not met?
Iris Griffiths and Danny, I think.
Okay, so let me move you to there. to, I'm going to do that move to breakout room 3. And then, Dr. Martin, who have you not met? Oh, Dr. Martin, who have you not met? Oh, have we lost Dr. Martin? Oh, is Dr. Martin here? Oh, Dr. Martin, something. Who hasn't, Frank? Who
Kojo and Frank. Kojo and Frank, I have not met.
Oh, brilliant. Let me move you to room 4.
I've not met Kojo or Frank.
You've not met Kojo or Frank.
Right.
Okay. Let me move to room.
You probably needed bigger groups.
I've got Iris and Mia, who haven't met. Iris G and Mia haven't met. I've got Kojo. Who haven't you met, Kojo?
I haven't met Dr. Martin. I haven't met Iris. I haven't met. I've met Danny. I've met everybody. So it's just that.
Never met Mia.
I mentioned your name. I haven't met Mia.
So Iris and Mia are going to be together. Dr. Martin and Kojo are going to be together.
Ooh.
Danny. I've got Danny. Kirsten, did you say that you had met Iris K?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You have.
Rasheed, I have met Mia twice.
You met Mia twice. So Frank, have you met Iris K? Because Iris K's by herself. Who can I put Iris K with who she hasn't met?
Danny.
Danny, perfect. Move to, here we go. Here we are, Joy. This time you can have a minute sharing. What brings you joy? Over to you with your new best friends. And as everyone goes into the rooms, that was for me the biggest logistical thing. Who hasn't met who? So what I want you to think about, what brings you joy? Okay. Person 1, your 1 minute starts now. Your minute starts now. Okay. So yeah, what brings you joy? So what brings you joy? Or what do you need to go back to that brings you joy? I think, I mean, this is an obvious one. Meeting people, training people, coaching people, hearing people share their stories. I love that. I mean, I love music. And I've been reconnecting that. And by the way, there's going to be a new album soon. So look out for that, hopefully by the end of December. So yeah, what brings you joy? And how could you be doing more of it? Your min starts now. So yeah, what brings you joy and how could you be doing more of it? What else brings me joy? I love squash and tennis. I just played squash again for the first time in ages, post-lockdown. And I think tennis, I need to make sure I return to it. I love watching that though. Yeah, music and people are two of my best loves. And actually, I've rediscovered that I quite enjoy cooking because I don't always cook. And I think during lockdown, I've been went out and just taking the time for that. And I actually enjoy cooking for people, but not for big groups of people, just individuals, because then I can just have fun with that. Or sometimes 2 people. But I actually like cooking for one person. I like catching up with individuals and just having dinner, because then I can combine that joy for people with cooking and so on, having real time to really listen and really be present. Here they all come back. Here they are, coming back for the last time. So there's 8 of them. So we've just about get a 1 minute roundup. Oh, well, welcome back, my friends. And I've been having to fill the airspace. Now you're all welcome back. So we're going to have literally about a minute each to give us our wrap-up thoughts. Who should we turn to first of all? Slap bang in the middle of the picture is Dr. Martin. Dr. Martin, can you begin to give us your closing kind of thoughts for this last compassion check-in? Just last maybe can I invite you to direct it to anybody here who might be listening and who might be wanting something to take away from this, anything that you're wanting to offer to all of us here and to anybody who might be listening at home?
Oh, I'm going to direct this to Kojo. because of the work that he does and the work that he wants to do. In media, there is so much chaos because, you know, very often you're dealing with people with incomplete ideas, you know, and half-baked notions. I would say that ask yourself why you became involved. What is it that you want for the radio station? What is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to be? You have to identify your brand in a way. But I think if we move just away from media terms, you have to know your own heart and to understand what it is that you are, because that's what people feel. You know, university lecturer, novelist, blah, blah, the things that I imagine for myself and entitle myself and give to myself, there's something that shines above all of that. And people have said to me, it's my energy or my enthusiasm or the whatever, but there's something about me that always shines through, no matter what role or what job I'm doing. And I think, considering what you want to build for the radio station, and particularly when that voice of truth of your own, and when you are not an emotional coward, when you have truth and honesty and love in your own spirit, that can be heard and felt. And that's what I want you to put in your radio program and with the people who work with you.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you. And Kojo, do you want to play your pass? Next to you, you might want a moment.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to every one of you. Every one of you. I want to say thank you. Dr. Martin, this did not just happen. What you just said. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Aris K. Thank you, Rasheed. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, everybody.
Kojo, for anybody else who's watching this, given your rich experience, anything that you would offer to anyone who's not been in this room and who might be listening to this, any words of wisdom, of which I know you have many?
I would want to pick up from my conversation with Kristen, the coach. Mm-hmm. And we were having a conversation, and what I wanted to share with her, or share is the following her heart, as she was sharing in the room, following her heart and being that extension of grace and being that testament of hope that she wants to be to people, as in she going for it and understanding what she really wants to do and just give it to the people that she wants to do. The returns will come, and I want to leave that with Kristen.
Oh, Kristen, that's brilliant then. Kristen, play or pass? I think you're going to have to play, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Because we talked about hope. I just trying to think about sort of because what was said at the beginning about what to shine through. I just trying to think about who to pass it on to. But it's very much echoes my whole vision, really, about if you put yourself behind anything that you do, if you are totally truthful to yourself and honest and show all that, and you are fully authentic, and that's whatever you do in life is that is what you are giving out, you will succeed in whatever you want to do, and you also reach people with it, with your heart or your good intent and whatever. And I would love to send this to Mia, because we had a really good chat just about what we had come to peace with, and so I would just pass this on to you, Mia, and just say that for putting heart behind everything and to really reach, just feel like we have it in us, then we can achieve great things in life.
Morris Abiy, you've been handed the mic, handed the baton.
Yeah. Just to say to everyone, you are and we are enough. Yeah.
Magical, Mia. And just thank you very much. I remember I've told the story here before, but I'll share it again. I remember early on in my business days, I think the year must have been about, I'm guessing about 2004, we had a conversation. So no, you must go to this event at the British Library. I went to the event at the British Library, and you remember it was the, I think it was the very first rise and rise of Black British entrepreneurs. And I ended up chairing the second one. How ironic is that? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been there. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had a conversation with them. And if I hadn't had that conversation with them, I wouldn't have been their life and their business coach partner for the last 14 years. So thank you so much for that. And for the people you asked me to interview when we did our interview series with all sorts of wonderful authors. From Benjamin Svefnaya and Mallory Blackman, all sorts of wonderful people. So thank you so much for all the work that you've done. And I want to thank you also, Mia, for those people who, over all the years of all the work you did with the Black History Month work and website and so on. I know that often people aren't always able to say thank you or don't always remember to say thank you, but I want to say thank you on behalf of all the hundreds and hundreds of people who've read the newspapers and all of that stuff, who've been able to say thank you. So I want to say a big thank you. Mia, who should we pass the baton to?
Iris K.
Iris K. Iris K.
I think the takeaway for me from all this is it's just amazing how you just can select a random group of people, and maybe the only thing we have in common is that I guess we all must like some sort of personal development, otherwise we wouldn't know you, Rasheed. But that actually people can become friends, although they have actually otherwise nothing in common and don't know each other. I think that's a wonderful thing. And secondly, because this will haunt me seriously, Kojo, this poster, what if I was a squirrel? What if? I really need to know the answer.
Okay. I would.
Magical. Well, I'm really hoping that, and Iris, who are you going to pass the baton to? But I'm really hoping that you're going to exchange details and carry on the individual conversations that you need to have. Iris, who are you going to pass the baton to? Danny.
Thank you. And thank you again to everybody here on this call. It's been quite a year in many ways for my own personal growth. And it was only down to every one of you here that from the bottom of my heart, I feel like it's been such an incredible year, the best crazy year. And I think what I'm realizing and what I could share to others perhaps is that finding the unique you, every one of us is so unique. I spoke to my sister earlier this morning, and every one of us are unique in our own ways and our own attributes. We may share compassion, love, kindness, respect, but we share it in our own unique ways because there's not a two of any of us. And I think once we can understand a little bit deeper of finding that uniqueness within ourselves, we can share that with others to help find them their own uniqueness as well, which they can bring out into the world. And by sharing it with love and kindness and compassion, it certainly makes you feel better by offloading how you feel, especially in this group where we've been able to share our own feelings, unique feelings that have gone on in our own unique lives. But in order just sharing that out there and putting it out there and having people listen has made life so much richer for myself. And I know that's because I'm in this moment of just realizing how unique we all are. And if anybody can look into finding their unique selves, I think it can really bring some great peace, love and kindness that they can spread as well to others.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And whilst you there, and who are you going to pass the baton to? I was going to invite everyone if they wanted to, and note viewers will be able to see this. You could put in your emails into the chat box so that you can therefore connect with each other, and you can save the chat because you might want to do that. Danny, who of the two incredible characters of the incredible characters here who have yet to go, Iris G and Frank Monroe, who is going to be your pick?
I'm going to pass it over to Frank Monroe, please.
Frank Monroe, who has the 100% attendance record.
Right, thank you very much. For me, my takeaway with this, I'm just building on Iris's point, is that you managed to pull together a group of people that only had you in common, and create a space where people felt safe, where we could have an honest intellectual conversation which helped us all to develop and grow personally. I said that I've always been a glass half full, a half empty person. These conversations have made me rebalance that a bit more, so I'm a lot more optimistic in outcome and how I look at things. And I said I've learned a lot more about myself. Whether I want to actually, you know, whether I like everything that I see about myself, that's a story for another day. But I just think that this group has just been awesome, really, really has. And that's what you get when you know, when people come with honest intention, and they're prepared to be just that bit vulnerable and share.
Wonderful, wonderful. Iris G, no pressure. The interpreter extraordinary, the person who's got a million fascinating stories. Iris, no pressure on you to round up our closing thoughts.
Okay, well, I think that everybody actually said everything that I could say a lot better than I would say. But one of the things that for me is a takeaway, and this group has given me this year, is how other people, you know, I see on other people what I want to be. And this group, every week, I would get at least one thing of someone that I say, oh, I want to do like someone. So it's like great inspiration. And I just see people, because I am very practical, I just see people, they just optimize what they are good. And then, you know, it was just 1 hour and then they could convey that. And it's amazing. I find you all amazing in your own ways. And I took from your lives something to my life, which is very much me, you know, optimizing everything that I hear from others, take to my life, implement to my life, and just go being Iris as I do. So, you know, I just hope that you get inspiration from others, like I've got from all of you, and from you as well, Rasheed, and you know that. So, yeah, thank you. You made my 2020 good. It could have been a horrible year, but, you know, you helped it to make it good. I finished 2020 as a positive year, definitely, and you contributed to that.
I think that's a lovely point, you know, that this year, which has been challenging, and just a thought, and sharing a moment maybe for everybody who's lost people this year, or people who've had real difficulties personally or in business, and so on. Just really heartfelt love to those people, and but also heartfelt thanks to all those people who've really stood up and come to the fore during this particular time. Just came to my mind because, you know, I love music and I'm a singer-songwriter, and the new album's coming out soon, by the way. Keep your eye out for that soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But I remember once, I love music, and I was thinking about talking to Dr. Martin actually earlier about a song by the songwriter Burt Bacharach. And Burt Bacharach was once asked what's his favourite song, and I was slightly surprised at the time, but now I agree with him. He said, you know, on balance, probably my favourite song, if I had to pick one, would be Alfie. And Alfie, which is a beautiful song for people know it, the pretty much the final words are, when you walk, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love every day. And I think that's so beautiful, you know, and that's the invitation. And I think that's the invitation of Compassion Check-In. That's, I think, what's really most important. I have a saying that everything boils down to love and compassion, or its absence. And I've got another one, that compassion is even more powerful than courage. Sure, with courage, you can conquer the world, and there'll be many people who've tried, but only with compassion can you heal it and build it. Only with compassion can you know, so that's what I want to leave everybody with compassion, with that thought of compassion, showing up to oneself with compassion, showing up in every room with compassion, and especially with people you don't like, with people you hate, in situations that you think are really, really difficult. Turn up the compassion, and I guarantee you that magic will happen in that moment, even if it's in terms of your own self-realization. So I just want to thank you all. The last request for me today, at least, is to take a group. Can we take a group photo? Because I really want to post a nice group photo. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Then let's give me a nice warm smile. Let's square one for Insta. I'm at Rasheed Ogunlaru, by the way. And just thank you so much. And can we say thank you for those people? Jay, so sorry that I hope you're going to watch on. But Kristen, you have to come to the other future events and future events, and everyone else. Although this is the last one, do check out my website. Hope to see you at Creative Talk Space or the Connect Coffee Hours. The first one I'm going to run in about two hours time. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time here. It's been really magical. This has been special. Hope to see you all very, very, very soon. Stay in touch. Lots of love. Thank you. See you.
Thank you, Rash. Thank you, Rash.
Thank you. Oh, Mia, you're saying something.
Dr. Martin didn't put his details.
Oh, Dr. Martin, put in your details because we're going to shut down the...
I just did. Hold on a moment. I'll do it again.
And you know you can save the chat, right? You know you can just save it. You go to file, and you go to that's the dots thing, and you just save the chat. I've saved it, so I can always pass it on. All right, I've got another call to go on to, everyone. See you all really, really soon. Lots of love, everybody.
Thank you.
Take really good care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Soon.